Oh, that's interesting. Background drones? What does background drones mean? Oh. Yeah. Well, I'm in the basement, so you probably are hearing a bunch of stuff. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I watched the Other Music documentary, and like I'm done. So it's just like that. This is the story they're gonna keep telling, and it's like, like the election result is, look, this is great, so hopefully that makes things like, correct course or whatever. But yeah, it's like I can't keep watching the next generation tell this story over and over again, because they keep telling it wrong, and it's the same people that are being allowed to tell the story, and I don't care about it anymore. I'm so sick of fucking 26-year-old kids talking about Neutral Milk Hotel and Yola Tango. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. I think the next generation really needs to stop talking about my generation. And it's just, I can't deal with it. And the New Salem's fucking terrible. Wow, it sucks. I finally heard it. Anyway, yeah, it's like, anyway, I'm not going to like save this or anything, so whatever. But it's weird. Like, if you watch that documentary, God, that light is hot. If you watch that documentary, it's like the only thing that matters about that documentary is the fact that these guys' wives had to work real jobs so they could play record store. Like, and you're gonna you're gonna celebrate that. Like, I went to Other Music a million fucking times. I recognize all those people fine. I knew when they worked at Kim's, when fucking Chris Ryan was running Kim's. It's just like, I'm at a place where, like, I just don't give a shit about this anymore. Like, you can't win. The entire Other Music doc is just them trying to take credit for what Pitchfork actually did. Like, they had no fucking reach. They were on the corner. They sold hundreds of copies. Like, dude, we made fucking Animal Collective big, and it's nauseating. It's just like, they've got kids, and like, they're crying about the fact that their record store went under. Like, dude, you have a responsibility to, like, provide for, oh, it's so fucked. Like, I don't get it anymore. I never got it when I was part of this story. I didn't participate in this shit. I had no reverence for, like, record geek culture. It's fucking embarrassing. And I just wish that, I don't know, I guess I felt like I wanted to point out the whole time, like, there's another way to do this. Just, like, you can be successful and still love music. Like, it's a really bad idea to think that you should be allowed to only love music. Like, you can live liking records, and I it just doesn't seem like there's a way that anyone could or would want to tell that story except, like, me. Like, they all want to pretend that it's going to happen for them, or that it mattered, or that it was this huge deal. I don't know, but I kind of can't keep talking about it anymore. Watching that, I just felt like, yeah, it's over. It's all those, like, it's pointless. This is the story that's going to get told. Whether they're telling it in, using Other Music as a proxy, or if they were actually doing the documentary maybe one day on Pitchfork, they're still going to sell it the same way. They're going to tell it the same way. They're going to reify all the same stories, the same perspectives on those stories, and it's just not. I don't want to participate in it anymore. I don't want to be the person of the generation that's still talking about it when the next generation is the one dealing with it. So that's why, I mean, the streams were something when we were really doing it. It was like really fucked up, dark COVID times, like. And I was like, let's have some fun with that and whatever. And we had a good time. And that's great. But like, over the last like 4 months or 3 or 4 months, like I haven't really had time and increasingly not like less inclination to be present. Like I don't want to be in a present tense persona identity way participating in that direction anymore. So that's why I kind of alluded to the fact that I've been doing other things that won't have my name attached or any, anything that like I don't want to be around it anymore. So somebody asked about a Q&A. I don't know what, if there's anyone even watching. Yeah, there's like a few people, whatever. If anybody on here has any questions or wants to talk about anything, let me know. But, yeah, I'm gonna definitely change like away from this. So yeah, music's fashion, I guess. I mean, I don't know. It's not really. It's anymore. I mean, when it had an economic weight to it that was born of music and actual like audience referendum, then that's different. We don't have that anymore. We haven't for a long time. So. That's fine. I mean, kids still love music. Everybody still loves music. I love hearing new music, even though I think the new Salem is really bad and they're just navel gazing terribly. But yeah, I don't know. It's I almost don't understand how there is a next generation of people trying to do what even I and my peers did. I don't get it. Like, I don't know what you're getting out of it. Like, it means you have to participate in social media, first of all, which who would ever want to do that now? I can't imagine. Like, I couldn't handle that anxiety. When I was participating in social media and the internet and stuff, like, it was all on Obama's watch, and conservatives didn't even know how to use the internet. Like now that they've sort of caught up after 7 years, and you have the weaponization of social media by people who couldn't figure out how to use a computer. It's just I can't. It's just all insane, adversarial, polarized. Like the things I've talked about, what I studied, self-selection. Democracy in the internet. You make your own truth. You just self-select your own network of truth, and you don't engage with or consider that it might be totally fucking wrong or whatever. So, yeah, I don't know. When you started, you were angry that music history wasn't being told correctly. Who do you think is telling it correctly now? I don't think there is a correct history of anything. Famously, history is written by the victors. But it's not that I thought that people were wrong. It's that I thought they were receiving wisdom, and they were eager to retell a version of a story that already had meaning bundled in itself. Like, the mythic, the legendary, the prepackaged, press manufactured reputations of the Velvet Underground, of all these other bands from the 80s. We talk about Jesus and Mary Chain, Spacemen 3. When my generation started talking about its love of music, and this really did tightly couple with the emergence of the internet. I just felt it was sort of embarrassingly beholden to received notions, and like, so that became definitely like a hook for me, which was that What if that's bullshit? Like, what if this wasn't a big deal? Why do you think it's a big deal? Were you there? No. So again, like, there was so much inherited bias and inherited value that I just felt was unexamined. And I wanted to pick apart at that. And what you find is when you do it that way, immediately everyone loses their shit. All the artists get totally pissed off, like, for you not, you know, falling all over yourself, fawning over them. If you don't come at the artist from a vantage of respect, yet you know just as much about music, no one can handle that. And certainly wannabe music critics can't handle it. There's fucking people that'll never stop, you know, talking shit about me for that reason. Because I don't like, I hate scenesters. And that's all that other music documentary was. It's the scenester version of music history, and it's still the same fucking, you know, indie bullshit. But, you know, oh, we know about Noi and Can, and, you know, oh yeah, Os Mutantes and all this shit. Like, it's, you gotta, like, if music really rips for you, like it does shit for you, makes you excited, you gotta be just like totally selfishly unafraid to say this is the only music that matters. And I don't know. Anyway, having my morning oatmeal. I do letterheads and logo tabs, a couple record labels. There's a record label I work with. Fuck, that is the worst Southern accent ever. She may be from the South. But it is so over the top. Graphic design. Oh my God. You get, the movie is still like the most 80s movie ever. But yeah, I do letterheads and logo types. And the Einsters and Neubauten guy being on it is so rad. Yeah, this was a great way for me to go out, was Boot Boys making this hat, because I was like, yeah, this is it. I'm not like trash culture fun, like us talking crap, doing live streams. Like it's something we did, right? Okay, it was a little face, but like, I just, you know, it sucks. But maybe some other people will start doing something. I know some of the people that were in the Discord we used to have, you know, talked that they're still gonna, you know, maybe start publishing stuff or doing a website or something. I hope they do. But yeah, I'm not going to be involved in it. You know, I'm like happy to listen to music and read about it and all the things I do. But I knew it was going to happen. Like, I knew it was going to happen anyway, that, you know, you're not going to change the narrative. The narrative is going to be the one that celebrates the people who, you know, the scene that celebrates itself. It's all the people who dream of being interviewed in a documentary. It's all the people who dream of, you know, all the bullshit of, like, you know, like the joke they make in High Fidelity when they're like, you know, imagine like dating a musician. It's just embarrassing to me. And I mean, so maybe part of this is grossly unfair in the sense that there is a huge percentage of music geeks that are not, you know, they're insecure. And maybe music is like a praxis for them to find some part of identity or confidence or something. And okay, that's fine. But again, I don't apologize for not being like that. And I don't apologize for finding it kind of sad. I just don't. There's no reason you have to be a record geek. You can like love music and be successful in life and not get a fucking bunch of tattoos and develop class A drug habits on and off. And like it's really super possible to do both things. And I can't stop saying that to people, because I just keep finding people my age who are fucked. They're fucked. You know, because they kept trying to make this their actual life and not a hobby. And I feel terrible. It's like, I don't relish that. I'm not like saying this because I'm like sticking it in someone's face. It's like, I can't think about this anymore. Like, people I came up with are like hurting bad. You know, the other music guys, again, their wives paid for them to run a record store. that made no money for 10 years. They had like 3 years where they made real money, and barely. And those years were their highest years of rent. So they were paying like 18 grand a month in real estate to Manhattan. It's just, so yeah, I kind of got to be done with it. You know, kind of, I don't mean like once and for all, but I just mean like, the more I thought about it, as we came out of the pure COVID stuff, where I'm just sitting here in the basement, just like rambling or whatever, and having a beer with you guys, that was super fun. But as it started to come out of that, and I started to like do it again, like topically, you know, do the chart sweeps, riff, like that's still riffing and fun. And it's like, hey, it's COVID, let's do something, you know, break out and think about music, because I don't have time to a lot of the time with, you know, a big family. And a pretty stressful career, frankly. But as I started to do like pointed pop punk, you know, IDM videos, and really think and put myself in the music headspace again, I totally started feeling that same anxiety of like, you know, like you say, anger or whatever, but it's, I don't want that. I don't want to feel like that anymore. I don't like it. I don't like hearing anecdotally that someone's like still saying negative things about me somewhere. And that's a fault of mine. That's a problem with my wiring, that I let things like that bother me. Which, you know, I fully admit. But like when I had been completely off social media entirely, that feeling went away. And I just don't want to feel it anymore. I've got too many good things in my life that I should be spending all of my time on. And this is kind of a fractious thing. And when I saw this other music documentary, I just, as soon as it started, I was like, this is the last thing I'm ever going to see. I'm never going to read another book or watch another thing about this period of music and music promotion and music criticism and celebration that I contributed to. I gotta close the book on it. It's watching people try to retell it and celebrate what was such a pathetic, disorganized, nothing period, like especially the fucking bullshit in New York after 9/11. And literally the narrative, you know, apex of this other music documentary is telling the William Basinski story. Literally word for word, they say the things I say in a derisive, mocking way in that old video I made in like 2012 about the disintegration loops. The dude, Mark from, I think it's Mark or Mike from Other Music, is literally saying this same shit I said in a sarcastic voice about the Ferris tape breaking down of the, I mean, holy shit, head up ass land. It would be funny if it wasn't so tragically exactly what I knew was going to happen. That Other Music documentary is the template for the Pitchfork documentary they're going to make. It's going to be the same story. No one's going to tell the real story, ever. So, you know, yeah, it's weird. It's very self-involved, obviously, to even be talking about this. I understand, but the self-involvement of the people who want to tell it the way that Other Music documentary tells it, I think I can safely say I'm head and shoulders not that self-involved, because it's only worth telling to make fun of it, because it's totally quixotic to think you could run a record store in Manhattan. And somehow these guys got a loan from Chemical Bank because CD sales were at their all-time high when they started Other Music. You literally rode a market trend. It has nothing to do with you. And then, you know, you went and you're starting families that you can't provide for, like, and like crying about it. Fuck me, dude. My ambient playlist is Big Rinsing It. Yeah, that's a good one. I love it. No, Pitchfork's not a thing. It's been dead since it got sold. I'm just saying, I watched this documentary and it's on, I think it's on Prime Video, maybe other places. It was some younger people did it. And like the big interview is the meet me in the bathroom woman, who I already did like a fucking stupid video about, saying like that book is so embarrassingly bad and wrong and talks to none of the right people. And of course, now you have like this person is an authority on Knott's indie. Like, and then, oh, then someone sent me the, what was it, like the rubbish bin indie list they did of all the English and UK shit. What was that? Someone did a big like listicle in Vice, I think, or Noisy, right? About like make weight, boring indie, landfill indie, yeah. And I you know, I subscribe to Zach Lopez's newsletter, and I love Zach. I mean, I think he's a great personality, and I think we have a lot mentally maybe in common, but from a different vantage. But he mentioned it in his newsletter, so I just opened it and I was like, oh man, this is the thing I don't want to see. I just like the Antonio Banderas close the laptop, but not smiling, like slamming the laptop. All done. I can't see that stuff anymore. Like, it just makes me get a tick in my neck. But Interpol, they're one of the most important rock bands of the moment. The Strokes and Interpol, totally, yeah, they totally made New York big and blah, blah, blah. Sure, Black Dice, literally less than does not matter. I mean, if Liars is going to be a bigger name historically than your band, you really fucking did nothing. I hated those kids, man. They were such fucking little brats. Ugh. Yeah, I don't know. And you know, that whole, like, the one thing I'll say is I could kind of see other music, but originally really Kim's. I could see them taking credit for the infusion of krautrock. Like, nobody would have, like, Liars and Bang 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 or Chick 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 or whatever, you know, all the fucking no dance, death dance shit, gang dance, all these fucking RISD art school wankers. The whole infusion of like electro kind of pointed throb, marauder, Carpenter disco, and then krautrock, Neu and Can and shit. That getting into indie rock, I think you got to say that's other music. Because if you ever went in there, that's all they fucking played all day. And it was, I mean, literally there were periods where I'd go in and I'd be like, oh, Future Days again. Wow, that's shocking. But, you know, obviously as the store became more precious and more of a brand name, you know, in the way that all the big record stores have, you know, Bleecker, Bob's, and in Boston, Mystery Train, and you know, In Your Ear, Nuggets, and, you know, Amoeba, all these famous record stores, right? Famous. Other music did massively expose NYU kids and that generation that made all that shit in the early and mid 2000s. It definitely brainwashed them on European obscure psychedelia, like, you know, the Aphrodite's Child record and shit. Like, they were definitely surfacing some shit, and I'm not saying they don't deserve credit for their impact on culture. It's just the idea, like, they're transposing, you know, this microcosm of influence in New York as if it impacted the broader music culture. What I'm saying is, no, Pitchfork did that, and yeah, partially some of that was relayed through, you know, the people who were in New York and were influenced by it, and then the music that they made. You know, LCD Sound System obviously was like everybody at Pitchfork's favorite crusade band, along with Animal Collective and, you know, whatever the fuck. I didn't like any of this shit. Anyway, never got to ask your thoughts on Bardo Pond. Yeah, they were a good dirge band. Bardo Pond, what's that song? Machine Gun, what is it? Something Machine Gun's fucking great. They have that awesome split too with that I have somewhere down here. Which one is that? I can't remember. But there's an awesome split they did that I have somewhere in here. Is it this? No, this is Seam. The Summershine Kernel single. Oh, The Last Cracker Bash. Final show, dude. This was a great boot. I think this is on green vinyl too, isn't it? Is it green or? No, white. It's white vinyl. That's kind of weird. Why wouldn't you just make it green if you're gonna, whatever. Last Cracker Bash show. Tommy Gun Angel, that's what I'm talking about. Not Machine Gun. Tommy Gun Angel, that's their big one. That was a mega smash. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. So, Table of the Elements. Oh my God, Table of the Elements label. That was some pretentious shit. That was just like some mega Factory Records warship shit right there, man. That graphic design was more important than any record or music that it contained. I mean, it was just silly. What was the other music email newsletter popular? Oh, they have that whole anecdote where like Lou Reed's manager told them that all he did was buy MP3s off their website. That no one used that thing. I don't get that. I don't know where that came from. But if Lou Reed mentions you or you have a Lou Reed anecdote, you're gonna fucking tell it. But the newsletter was definitely big. So this is the other thing. Other music was not more important than In Sound. It was not more important than Brainwashed. Its newsletter was not out, or they were not out in front on the internet in any fucking way. This is sort of like when Mark Spitz, before he OD'd, tried to say that Spin was like the first, magazine to have like a blog or a website. Like, dude, I don't even know if they had a site until 2002. Like, holy shit, you could not be a. They're so, and it's so funny because like obviously, I quit Pitchfork and have historically just like shit on the thing because of, for personal reasons, blah, blah, but like facts, it was the only fucking site that mattered. And the other music part of this where they talk about their internet newsletter and then like they don't defer to InSound or Brainwashed or the ones that were really doing, like InSound was fucking massive. That's where like they were friends with like, like they were friends with a lot of the New York scene that was blowing up too. Anyway, whatever. Yeah, no, the documentary is just sad and so embarrassingly distorted, and I can't watch distortions of what I lived through. I just can't. It's when you see history that you've lived told wrong. I've never been at a point in my life where that's happened because the things I did are so insignificant and just pathetically self-indulgent and entitled. Anybody involved in music who has the luxury of the leisure time to like be into music needs to fucking look in the mirror, like before they start feeling sorry about anything in their life. Like it's just so fucking dumb, man. But anyway, there are these stories being told. These books are being written by these next generations who were the ones reading and building this obsession that we were shaping or sharing or whatever. And so I think, when I talk to Simon Reynolds, he's like almost sort of the next D generation in that way for me. Coming from a physical media and a print magazine age, that all felt really real, and was real. And you were making salaries and living lives, and there was big money going around in advertising and concert revenue and record sales and promotion. Like, not a ton of money, but like even at an indie level, it was sort of sustainable, even if they were sort of shuffling all the money around the cartel with Factory and Rough Trade and 4AD. Well, no, 4AD is to the side, but point being, Beggars was sort of getting it. Anyway. Real lives were lived there, right? So much of what my generation and my peers did was not real. It was on the internet. And there were moments, increasingly with they made the Pitchfork Festival, like, and Primavera got really pinned in that too. And then you have All Tomorrow's Parties. Like there were moments where there was a meeting of the whatever, but like, music to me is not something that's social. Like I don't listen to music and feel like I can't wait to hang out with someone and like go be around people and watch this band. I hate that. I'm not into that at all. Like music's an emotional headspace thing for me. It always has been. It doesn't mean shit. Like it is zero indication that I would have anything in common with someone else just because they like the same record I did. It's not a driver for my social life. It never has been. And which is weird because it means that generally speaking, I've resonated with or been, close with people sort of in the same boat, people who are generally sort of skeptical and maybe a little bit misanthropic. But I don't know. Discord was very important. Why isn't there? Yeah, there's a Gary Wilson name drop and they try and take credit for Blues Run the Game or whatever, what's his name? That dude, Paul Simon produced that record. Like, oh, it's so obscure because he became an alcoholic and lost his eye. Music, social dialogue. Yeah, exactly. But we need someone like you to state the Chameleons sucked. Yeah, sure. Jackson C. Frank, yeah. I mean, like, seriously, Paul Simon discovered this guy. He lived the life for a minute. Great. And he did write, like, a truly, like, heart-rendingly beautiful song and all, but, you know, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, so I probably won't even keep this up, so. But yeah, I just wanted to, you know, whoever was going to be around or whatever, just be like, yeah, I'm seriously like, I'm not going to be doing these anymore. And I mean, look, I've said before, I would love it if all my videos were not on the internet. I'd love it if you guys would take them down and not repost them. But until I see that, I mean, how can that happen? I don't know. It's not like they're a big deal or anything. I'd rather be able to close the door. And unfortunately, you can't. Anything you put on the internet, it's why there's no time. Like the access of time. I wrote that huge article about it. It's just broken, which is annoying as hell. Because you know, I would rather not be talked about or made fun of or whatever, or even praised. I don't. None of it is relevant anymore. Like I'm just not in a place in my life where I want this stuff surfacing and I don't want to participate in it. So, you know, if the people in the court or whatever, you know, have a mind to it, I really wouldn't mind if like that stuff could somehow go away. But what am I gonna do? I made the shit. It's out there. I can't take it back. It's fine. You know, but it sucks because when you do shit on the internet, it's very difficult to undo it. I mean, I deleted my Twitter years ago. I can delete my Tumblr. I can delete my blog. I can sue Pitchfork to delete all my reviews. But like when I put stuff on YouTube myself, kind of, you know, I wrote my own ticket on that. So that part I can't turn off. But I am a big believer in this. I'm a big believer in like, you need to be able to fully like change your life. And you kind of can't when you know in the small sphere that I'm talking about. It's hard to like make evolutionary changes that totally allow you to just take a different road for a while or whatever. So it's kind of annoying, but it's not. Again, if I don't look at it, it's not there. The internet will be gone soon. Yeah, it'll all be gone soon, right? Yeah. No, I mean, I was stoked. All the people like honking their horns and everything here in America. It's great. I think every rational person has to have been so fucking exhausted by what we've been enduring. And they're still enduring it in the UK, so I don't want to be insensitive, and I don't want to suggest that the world has changed. It hasn't. I think that this is an opportunity for American politics to improve itself. It's like a pause. This is going to be like a reset. That's all anybody is thinking, in my view. Any rational person is just thinking like, okay, what are we? Like, what the fuck are we doing? This, like I said, the conservative aspect of this society, the racists in this society, they figured out how to use the internet, and they figured out how to deploy rhetoric in ways that they never knew how to do. Steve Bannon read a lot of Chris Hitchens, and so the panache of the liberal side of the world, the people I've always admired, the Galbraiths, and then the panel show people, the Gore Vidal stuff, in history. The conservatives never had that. They were always embarrassing, ham-handed, and unfortunately, they're getting more sophisticated in their ability to weaponize rhetoric, misinformation, and use the internet. And so that's what scares me, and that's what's not going away. Don't be paranoid. Don't be paranoid. I got a phone call. That's why I just did this on my phone, and I got a phone call. I said ending was perfect, but I have to ruin it. You got to ruin everything. That's what the internet's for. Totally ruin your shit. I got to totally embarrass myself so it can be online forever. But anyway, yeah. Yeah, like I was saying, it's I get so anxious just thinking about where things are at, and it sucks. And so, like, yeah, it's anyway. So yeah, anyway, yeah, thanks, dudes and dudettes. You know, it was fun coming back and doing stuff for a bit. It just started to feel too much like I was going or approaching. It was coming back at me, like on me. And I can't think about this stuff anymore. So yeah, I did. It was funny when I saw it, when I saw that documentary came up. I literally was like, if I click on this, that's totally it. um, well, I'm not going to delete. I'm not, to Drawla in South America. I'm not going to like delete whatever. Will I ever post to the Substack? No, I don't want. So this is another thing I can say before I sign off. I actually don't want to contribute to the internet anymore. I don't think the internet like deserves to be contributed to at this point, for a variety of reasons. But like, and I don't want to get totally like off planet with this, but I really do think it's at a point where like you gotta tightly control how much of it you're like letting into your headspace, because it's really not. It's not good. Yeah, I have a whole bunch of stuff I'm gonna do. Sure, sure. Oh no, God no. I mean, I'm still gonna be involved in music 100%. Just not like my likeness, this whole like attitude, um, you know, that I've put out over the years. Like, look, I'm not saying that I'm a performer and that I don't think these things and I haven't said the things I've said. I have. They're me, you know. I just mean that I don't want to say them anymore, and I increasingly, apart from just telling old stories, I don't feel like this is something I want to spend time navigating for myself or for other people. Like, it just doesn't. It's hard to say. It's hard to explain. But like, if I was going to spend any time thinking or writing, I certainly wouldn't give that to the internet. Like it's almost like I look at that as like beneath me, like in a way, not because what I have to say is so great or important, but because my time is more valuable than that to me. And having been a person who sort of grew the internet in this one little lane, or helped do that for music, I totally regret not having been able to see, because you can't see the future, right? I wish I could have seen how things were going to end up sooner. And that's sort of why I mentioned the whole thing with like the conservative voice and rhetorical games and misinformation and stuff. The internet can, like, it just can be used, and even in the tiny music scene, it gets used to sculpt kind of versions of events the way that certain people want them to be sculpted. And what I mean by that is I don't have any interest in doing that. I never did. I mean, all the stuff I ever ranted about was saying that like I want to stop people from saying these incorrect or like at least not universally true things. There are other perspectives here that you're not hearing because they don't, like I said, flatter people. They don't make everyone think like how great music is or what a great time I had going and seeing a band or listening to a record. Like I'm sure you did, but there's like other shit there that that doesn't get interrogated too much. I don't even know. But anyway. Yeah, I never really talked about the rap stuff. I mean, I knew a couple of those guys in the early days of the online. Will the currently uploaded videos be totally taken out? No. I was saying, so I had said, you know, if people could if people hear me or word gets around and like we can take the old DSLR videos that people have re-uploaded down, I really wish there was a way those could go away, but it's not realistic. So no, I'm not gonna like delete these because there's nothing. I don't even. There's nothing even in the. I can't imagine listening to me fucking ramble for an hour on these. But like, it's COVID, so maybe it's entertaining for you. For whatever. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it was. Oh, cool, man. I'm glad. Or ma'am, I don't know. I'm glad you were enjoying this in Colombia. I'm currently seeing an online class with Franklin Bruno as a student. Will I do podcasts? The podcasts are probably the best stuff I did. I would say, because I do that. I do that voice kind of well, and there is definitely a performative aspect of it because I was in radio for years, and in movies kind of for a minute. So that's probably the best, like, eternal stuff, because I'm a good editor. I did literally all of it. I mean, I'm a good editor. I'm good at that tone. And it was so much work. It's so much work because I can't, like, I have to make it as good as I can make it, kind of a thing. And that's why they're probably the best things, The DSLR vids were, I mean, the ones that are good, like, they weren't, particularly hard to make. They weren't that much harder to make than this because it's just me doing this. But the podcasts are everywhere. They're on Spotify. They're on Apple and stuff. Yeah, those are easy. Those are easily kind of surfaced. But yeah. Anyway. So yeah, I mean, a couple of you email me and stuff, and that email address that's on the Substack. People can email me there. I respond to some stuff that, once in a while, but again, like full transparency, like I literally really do not have time to do even this, like, anymore. Just with, my kids are getting older, and like my life is more complex, and like anyway, so this was a fun thing, but I like I've told you, I already said this in the stream, right? I like things to end, right? And so, we had the Discord, and then when the lockdown happened in like March or whatever, we started doing this for fun, and we did it for, a few months on and off, and then I got into the summer, and, a lot of stuff in my life has been changing, and it started to feel like the old thing again, instead of like, whatever, I'm gonna go in the basement and have a beer with you guys. And I don't want to go back to that. And so it's like, in the past, like I say, I deleted things. You could delete things, and then you could start something else. You start the podcast, you do a Tumblr, you delete the Tumblr, you do this, you delete that. And like, I'm not trying to say it's like the Japanese tradition of like, giving yourself a new name and starting your life over, but like, yeah, it kind of is. I wish I could do that, because that's how you get completely reified. Like, you have to have a new thing you do and explore and this. And like I told you, I was going to do a thing about music supervision and the movie industry, and then the fucking COVID happened, so I had to scrap that. And then I actually was literally ramping up the possibility of doing a car channel. No shit. Before I did the Discord and stuff, when Doug DeMuro and Hoovies really started blowing up about a year and a half, 2 years ago, I was literally going to do a car YouTube channel out here, because there's so many cars out here and clubs and stuff on the East Coast. I mean, not even New York, forget New York, out in Boston and Connecticut and stuff, there's just such a huge scene, and like there wasn't a East Coast sort of channel. And like, I've been obsessed with cars my whole life, and I posted on the community. I got to drive a Royal Knight, like a fully restoed Bolt, totally down to the nut restoed Royal Knight 79. And yeah, I had like all the equipment I bought that I ended up using for the live streams was like intended to be part of this car YouTube channel. It was called Shitboxes. I'm never going to do this, so I'll just tell you the whole story. It was going to be called Shitboxes. I was going to buy cars off Craigslist for less than $3,000. There's a garage here I know we work with. We were going to do the videos, there would be like, it was me, there was a girl, woman, and two other guys. And you know, it was this whole thing because like Top Gear had been canceled and the Grand Tour was going to end. So we were like, holy crap, this is this big window. And we had it all like mapped out. You know, I mean, I was going to be like the pretend like fat old Johnny Knoxville character or whatever. We're going to totally resto the cars, get them cleaned up, and then like ship them out and try and get the virtuous flywheel going. So, you know, without having to be like, because, you know, first of all, the idea that Hoovie makes all his money off YouTube is fucking bullshit. That guy clearly comes from a fucking shitload of money. And like, so we're not going to be doing Lamborghinis and shit, and we're not going to be doing, you know, all these crazy, stupid things. But like doing it on beaters, and then like, there's also like, we had all the roads picked out, and there's like really scenic shit around me. There's also a disused airfield that we had talked about, but that wasn't probably going to work out. Anyway, yeah, I mean, we spent like a full 8 months. This was like all we were workshopping was like trying to do this. Yeah, it just, we did the math, and it was like, I mean, and then COVID happened. So like, thank God we did not try to do this. It would have been such, I mean, even if it was fun, it would never have worked. But anyway, yeah, exactly. I definitely want to go outside and get a run in. I am faded. So anyway, yeah. You know, I mean, look, I'd say I appreciate it, but you know, look, I got probably more. I upset more people and was made upset by more people. Like that takes over everything. All the negativity is all you end up living with, and it's I just can't have it in my life anymore. You know, I tried to do things that I felt they weren't comfortable, they weren't positive, but I did feel like, man, is there nobody else out there who sees this the way I see it? And you know, there were obviously, when I very first was doing the videos, I was going through a significantly, you know, embittered, alienated, fucked up thing. And you got to understand, millions of dollars were at stake here. I don't think people get this. They think I'm some fucking, you know, ex-writer who was sitting. No. There was millions of dollars coming up 2015 when that site was sold. I didn't get anything. And so, you know, I don't think people appreciate that. People think it's like, you know, like it's so easy to mock and make fun of the headspace I was in at that point, but you don't understand the amount of money that I was not going to get for the work I had done, which was measurable, my contributions. And so it really, you know, it inspired me to do some things that, you know, resonated with people. It inspired me to do, you know, tons of stuff that you know, of course, I regret, or at least am embarrassed of, which, you know, you can't take back. It's the internet, fine. But it's, yeah. Yeah, the car channel would have been funny. The only thing that remains of the car channel are my two cars, 94 FCJ Land Cruiser, 2-inch lift, old man emu, garages, and 95 C package NA Miata. With it still has the aluminum seat vibrator in the back. That was going to be the raddest part of that video. I have the full C pack with the original Gen 2 sound system and the vibrating aluminum woofer in the seat back. It's the most insane sound system ever. The whole video would have been me talking about the mid-90s NA Miata sound system and just how insane it is. Like, it's the most bizarre, over-engineered, like, look it up. It's so rad and fucking weird and funny. Any love for the RX-7? The RX-7, oh no, that's a sloppy ass car. Yeah, because it is perfect 50-50 weight distribution, like the Porsche 924. Like, they're totally shit. I can't stand them. DeMuro loves the last gen RX-7. It's like his favorite car. And you see those, like, people put stickers on them. They matte powder them and like slam them, and they look great. The rims are so fucking gorgeous. But like, no, I mean, no. It's, oh my god. They're awful. I mean, a 240Z might be better to drive. It just terrible. Well, I can't say I spent a lot of time in the second gen. The first gen, I definitely did. The old like 240 style RX-7, gorgeous car, but just shit steering, awful steering. As great as the handling was and the weight ratios, like the sound, what the Wankel? Yeah, it's interesting. The Wankel engine. If you guys don't know what that is, the Wankel engine is when it was invented by RSU in the 60s. Owners used to hold their fingers out of the car when they drove by each other to signify how many engines they had in their car. And RSU becomes Audi. And so the original Audi car is literally a ripoff of the body style of the RSU N80, NO80. But yeah, the Wankel is not a great thing. Oh man, I never got to use this. All right, I'll just show you this before I go. I paid $75 for this. Well, no. I paid $75 to have it made. And it's a 4 foot by 4 foot blow up of the cover of Liar's Happy Now. Someplace didn't have like a good it's not going to open up right. Anyway, someplace didn't have a good copyright scanning engine. So I got this made and I was going to put it up as my background, but I guess not. But yeah, Happy Now. It's not even that great of a record. Jeff's a madman, and you know, Boston Pride. Liars were great. And everybody knows that. Gerard Cosley knows that. He reissued them on Matador. Yeah. So, anyway, was that for a specific video? Yeah. I was going to do a stream on like Wally Tax and The Outsiders and Liars and, you know, not really nuggets, but like, you know, this very specific thread that gets into like all those retro, you know, Crypt Records stuff without getting into like psychobilly, but and it also would have I would have also sort of talked about some Vanity Press stuff, like Ode to Quetzalcoatl and Lewis and all that stuff. But yeah, I had a few ideas for other videos, and I was going to chart sweep out, you know, jam bands and like Hootie and the Blowfish and mainstream shit. But I gotta, yeah. I'll be back. No, I mean, sorry. There's stuff like I'm obviously not talking about. That is a component in this, but the pieces of it I've talked about, I think, are enough for you to understand. Like, dude, you do need to kind of close the door to some things, and this was never intended to be like, let's come back and do vids again. Like, and once it started to feel like that, I was like, nope, this was a mistake. I don't want to be in this place anymore. And yeah, so. He's going to jail. I don't know. I hope things get better for people. Like, I'm not trying to be pathetically lame, but I seriously, I mentioned this, and I really mean it. Like, I kind of can't see this stuff anymore. Like, I gotta focus on the stuff that that's like productive or whatever for me. You know, that's contributing to making things better here in my life, not on the internet. So yeah, see you guys, or if not.